Hello there, and welcome back to some more Paladins. So today we are going to be playing Barik, and I genuinely have not played Barik like more than 10 times in like my whole life, and I don't even have a proper page for him, because realistically, I want the standing near turrets heals you, and standing near turrets heals the turrets themselves, but we don't even have a proper loadout for it, so whatever, we'll take this increase the duration of rocket boots, I suppose, page. Like, it's not ideal, but again, we're just practicing this guy because he's an insane tank at the moment. He is one of the 4 tanks where if you don't pretty much take them in rank draft, you're, like, throwing, because I don't know, I'd say the order of, like, crucial tanks is, like, Makoa, Ash, Barik, and then Fernando, something like that. And we are taking Tinkerin today because Arc has its uses, but you will see that taking Tinkerin, especially against maybe players that aren't quite as good as you, does a ton of damage. Like, Tinkerin, as soon as you get used to the gun, it's insanely good. Like, I cannot stress enough how much damage you can do on Barik, both with Arc, but especially if you're hitting your shots with Tinkerin. Because I think this is like my 2nd or 3rd game ever with the legendary, but I don't know why this Fernando isn't pushing out, by the way. I was like setting up on the point and then Fernando is just like laughing at me, whatever. But like, these guys, they are trying to shoot us, but with Tinkerin you can pretty much snipe people from wherever you want. And that is an amazing thing that you can't really do with the other legendary cards on Barik. I would suggest taking Architectonics if you are against, say, like, Drogoz, Maeve, and, I don't know, some other weird support or something that maybe you can't really hit. But in general, if you can actually hit these shots, like, you end up doing a butt-ton of damage. Like, I'm not sure where we're going to end up by the end of this match, but chances are with this team we can probably get like top damage or close to it just by having this legendary card. And you know, with Barik, the other loadout page like I was talking about is very important because you can pretty much just either sit on point or you can sit up top if you want to be the tank that pushes out and just keep healing yourself. Like, you legit don't even need your healer most of the time if the enemies aren't just bum rushing you, which is nice. Obviously, we just pushed that straight up, no problems at all. It seems like these enemies aren't really, you know, it doesn't seem like this game in particular is of equal skill rating, shall we say. We do have a Ying as well, and the enemies don't actually have a support. But, you know, that's the fun of casuals at the moment, especially when you're very not versed in specific characters. Because, you know, with having to play in High Master or in GM and try and keep your ranking, you can't mess around with other characters like this all too often. Like, I would love to get more experience playing stuff like Strix, maybe Kinessa, because I enjoy playing the snipers every now and then, but, you know, I've played tank through and through, and support tank is what I normally play. So I don't really get the chance to play, like, the weird tanks, or I just never play Barik. So, nice change of pace, and again, his gun feels super nice. His gun feels as good to me as Willow's gun feels to a lot of DPS mains. Speaking of which, seems like this Willow is also AFK. Feels pretty bad. But, yeah, I love Tinkerin so much, and I can't even begin to describe how fun it is to play this. I know that Tinkerin, for whatever reason, is more popular in EU than it is, say, in North America or in, like, Brazil. I'm not sure why, but, you know, very popular in the EU region, and it has its reasons for being so. It's like how Wormjets, I think, was picked up in one region before the others, on Drogoz as well, but either way, oh god, no, he got hold of us, and oh, that sucks. We just used our left shift's cooldown as he hit that hook. Like, it went off the second that he got it off. That sucks. I was a bit too pushed out anyway, you know, it's just the whole, look, we're winning by a ton, so let's just push out against all of these guys. But legitimately, in the couple of games that I've had with Tinkerin, even in the first one that ended up, like, I barely hit any shots at all, like, we still did very well, if I remember correctly. But, you know, I would want to try this out maybe in some ranked games eventually. The Strix isn't really shooting anyone either. I think their team is just sort of a big mishmash of stuff overall. And you see, we can shoot up on these top ledges and everything against these enemies with this gun, whereas with our regular shotgun, obviously, we wouldn't have been able to put out so much pressure, and that is what I enjoy about this mod. So, you know, if you've never tried it out yourself, I do definitely recommend trying out this legendary card, and, you know, seeing how you do with it. You know, you can always take Arc, but realistically, I think if you have another tank, maybe an Inara that isn't going to output as much DPS perhaps, or maybe a Torv, definitely worth taking this over the other one, I'd say. But, you know, situations always change, always different times where maybe something else would be better, but for the most part, I love this. I really do love the gun. I say that, but I can't hit that bloody Maeve right there. You know, Maeve's recently, because they've been picked up due to the tournament games and just her buff in general, and new stupid Rave Maeve makes it so annoying to hit these things. Like, you can tell that I am still suffering with trying to get used to this gun, but, you know, I am getting more used to it as we go along. So, you never know, maybe in like a few more matches we'll be used to it. We'll be raring to go for some ranked stuff, but, no, I guess this is just my own plea in its own way to sort of get you to try it out as well if you haven't. And if you don't own Barik, make sure you do, because if you're going to play ranked and you don't have Barik available to like swap with someone, you are throwing again. It's like if you don't have Genos and Maldamba available to pick for someone else in ranked, you're throwing then as well. Like, there's no excuses to not have like some of the most picked characters in the game. But 146 objective time, we did 40,000 damage, so yes, top damage in that game. Sometimes it might feel like we're not doing all that much when we miss a ton of shots, but if you hit like 80% of your shots at least, you can pretty much out-damage everyone else on the team, which feels pretty good. Shame that was a 4v5 with the Willow bot, but regardless of that, I hope you at least enjoyed watching me sort of practice him today. But I will be back very soon with some more stuff, probably live stream a little bit as well, but until next time, I will see you then.